What if I informed you that when a departed loved one visits you in dreams on 3 separate occasions? Edgar Cayce's readings suggest that this is not merely coincidence, but rather a deliberate spiritual communication that calls for urgent action. The sleeping prophet recorded more than 14,000 psychic readings, and within his most significant cases lie guidelines on what to do when those who have passed attempt to connect with you through dreams. At this very moment, as you view this, someone who has left this world may be trying to get in touch with you. The real question is, are you ready to understand their message? By the conclusion of this video, you'll fully grasp what Cayce uncovered regarding these mystical dream encounters and the 3 essential steps you should follow when they occur. Before we dive in, I want to pose a question that could send chills down your spine. Have you ever experienced a dream about someone who has died? One that was so striking and lifelike that you woke up questioning whether they were attempting to convey a message to you? Please share your thoughts in the comments, as what I'm going to reveal from Edgar Cayce's recorded readings may shed light on your experience. In reading 5756-4, Cayce faced a situation that would alter our perception of how the living connect with the deceased. A woman approached him, urgently seeking answers. Her late spouse had visited her dreams on 3 separate occasions, each time more pressing than the previous. What Cayce disclosed during that session astonished even his stenographer, Gladys Davis, who had recorded countless readings. The slumbering oracle shared that when loved ones who have passed come to us in dreams 3 times, it signifies what he termed a soul emergency, a spiritual distress signal from beyond that must be heeded. But this is where things take an intriguing turn, potentially altering everything you believed about life after death. Through his explorations, Cayce found that souls that have transitioned don't simply show up in dreams at random. As outlined in reading 37-4-44, the realm of spirits functions according to particular principles, and the phenomenon of repeated dream encounters adheres to a celestial design. When an entity visits 3 times, they are exemplifying what Cayce referred to as the principle of spiritual persistence. This indicates they have an important message that must be conveyed before they can advance to elevated spiritual levels. However, there's an even more astonishing finding that Cayce revealed regarding these otherworldly experiences. During his studies at Virginia Beach, where the Edgar Cayce Foundation is now located, he recorded numerous instances in which dream visitors weren't merely bidding farewell. Instead, they were offering warnings, unveiling concealed truths, or giving advice on significant life choices. In one notable instance from reading 9872, a mother visited her son in dreams on 3 separate occasions, each time indicating a specific place in their home. Upon finally looking into it, he found crucial legal documents she had hidden prior to her passing, which ultimately safeguarded the family's financial future. This brings up an important question that I will address in just 3 minutes. However, before that, it's essential to grasp a concept that many overlook regarding communicating with the deceased through dreams. Based on Cayce's reading 5756-12, our consciousness acts as a connection between the physical realm and the spiritual one during sleep. While we dream, we are traversing what he referred to as the borderland, a realm where interaction between these worlds is feasible. Yet, the critical takeaway that distinguishes Edgar Cayce's teachings from other perspectives on dream visitations is as follows. The slumbering prophet realized that not every dream interaction with those who have passed on truly represents communication with their spirits. In reading 136-18, he clarified that certain dreams involving deceased relatives merely reflect our subconscious grappling with grief and memories. The key distinction is found in the clarity and frequency of the message. When a departed loved one reappears 3 times delivering the same urgent message or presenting the same specific image, Cayce's readings suggest this transcends ordinary dreaming. This represents a direct connection between souls, and based on his documented instances, disregarding these encounters may lead to significant repercussions for both the living and the soul that has passed away. Here's a summary of a well-documented case from the Association for Research and Enlightenment Archives in Virginia Beach. A businessman named Robert experienced 3 successive dreams featuring his late father, each progressively more intense. In every dream, his father appeared troubled and consistently gestured towards a particular tree on their family estate in Kentucky. At first, Robert attributed these dreams to his feelings of loss, but after the 3rd encounter, he recalled Cayce's insights regarding the importance of receiving a message through 3 dream visits. Taking the advice from the sleeping prophets, Robert made his way to the family property to examine the tree highlighted by his father. Beneath its roots, he unearthed a metal box that held evidence of a crime his father had witnessed many years ago. This evidence had the potential to finally bring justice to a long-dormant case and help his father's soul find tranquility. However, this narrative unveils an even deeper insight into the spiritual principles that govern our interactions with the deceased. In just 2 minutes, I will illustrate the 3 specific steps Cayce proposed for engaging with these extraordinary dream encounters. In reading 281-6, you will find one of Cayce's most comprehensive explanations of what he referred to as post-mortem soul communication. As the sleeping prophet explained, when a person passes away, their soul does not instantly ascend to higher spiritual realms. Instead, they often linger in what he described as the earthbound dimension to resolve unresolved spiritual matters. These spirits are capable of interacting with the living solely under certain circumstances, mainly when our conscious mind rests during sleep. Yet Cayce found that piercing the divide between realms demands significant spiritual energy. This explains why departed loved ones usually manifest only when their message is pressing enough to warrant the spiritual exertion involved. The pattern of 3 is not coincidental. In his interpretation of 2:8, Cayce clarified that 3 symbolizes completeness within spiritual law. 1 encounter may be regarded as mere fantasy, 2 could simply be serendipity. But when there are 3 visits, it signifies a full spiritual circuit, conveying a message that has amassed sufficient energy to require the attention of the living. At this point, Cayce's teachings transform into actionable advice that has the potential to alter your life. In his reading 5:6-14, the sleeping prophet outlined 3 essential steps to follow when a deceased loved one appears in your dreams 3 times. According to Cayce, these are not merely recommendations. They are spiritual duties that honor both the spirit of the departed and your personal spiritual growth. The first step entails what Cayce referred to as conscious acknowledgement. As soon as you awaken from the 3rd dream, it's essential to verbally recognize the visitation. Address your deceased loved one aloud, expressing something along the lines of, "I acknowledge your visit, and I'm prepared to hear your message." Cayce found that this spoken recognition forms what he referred to as a spiritual bridge, enhancing the link between different dimensions. However, here's a surprising fact regarding the importance of this acknowledgement. According to reading 374, souls that have passed away may become stuck in the earthly realm when their urgent messages are ignored by the living. Cayce recorded instances in which souls lingered for decades, unable to advance on their spiritual path due to the neglect or disbelief surrounding their dream encounters. Recognizing these experiences consciously can genuinely aid in liberating their spirit, allowing it to proceed with its journey. The second step involves what the sleeping prophet termed meditative receptivity. Within a day following the third dream visit, it's essential to adopt a serene meditative state and explicitly invite the departed to express themselves with greater clarity. Cayce suggested finding a comfortable seated position, closing your eyes, and mentally requesting your late loved one to convey their message through sensations, imagery, or intuitive feelings. In reading 262:15, Cayce described how this meditative openness creates what he referred to as soul channels, direct lines of communication that circumvent the symbolic aspects of dreams. Many individuals who embraced this approach reported receiving exceptionally clear insights regarding concealed family truths, alerts about upcoming events, or advice on significant life choices. However, it is the third step that distinguishes casual spiritual explorers from those who genuinely grasp Cayce's insights on interdimensional communication. Step 3 necessitates taking tangible action based on the message received. As stated in reading 57568, failing to act in the physical realm after spirit communication produces what Cayce called spiritual static, a disruption that hinders future exchanges and leaves both spirits unfulfilled. This implies that if a departed family member indicates a specific location in your dreams, you should go and explore that area in reality. If they alert you about a certain individual or circumstance, it is essential to take necessary precautions. Should they uncover concealed information, you should take responsible action based on that insight. The archives of the Association for Research and Enlightenment include numerous documented instances where individuals who adhered to all three steps saw significant positive transformations in their lives. In contrast, those who overlooked the spiritual guidance encountered ongoing challenges until they ultimately paid attention to the message. Here's an example that showcases the significance of effectively addressing triad dream encounters. Sarah, a nurse residing in Virginia, started having dreams about her late grandmother precisely 1 year following the grandmother's death. In all three dreams, her grandmother was seen in their former family kitchen, anxiously opening and shutting the same cabinet drawer. The dreams were incredibly lifelike, allowing Sarah to catch a whiff of her grandmother's signature perfume and hear the well-known creak of the aged wooden drawer. By following Cayce's three-step method, Sarah initially recognized the visitation, then proceeded to meditate to gain clearer insights. While in a meditative state, she felt a strong urge to look inside a particular kitchen drawer at her grandmother's house, which was now vacant and up for sale. Upon examining it, Sarah uncovered a concealed section within the drawer that held her grandmother's original immigration paperwork, along with a substantial sum of cash that the family had never known about. More importantly, the documents provided vital insights into the family history, enabling Sarah to comprehend inherited health issues that had puzzled doctors for years. What makes this situation even more extraordinary, as per Cayce's interpretation of spiritual principles, is that after Sarah acted upon her grandmother's message, she noted that her persistent dreams about her grandmother ceased completely. Instead, she began to experience beautiful, serene dreams in which her grandmother appeared joyful and bathed in light. Based on reading 136-22, this change signifies that the soul has successfully conveyed its message and can now advance to elevated spiritual realms. This trend is frequently observed in Cayce's recorded instances of three-time dream encounters. When individuals appropriately recognize, accept, and respond to these spiritual messages, it results in significant spiritual growth for both the living and the deceased. However, Cayce also noted the repercussions of overlooking these otherworldly dream visits, which may be unsettling. In reading 575-619, the sleeping prophet elaborated on the outcomes that occur when dream visitations from departed loved ones are overlooked or disregarded. The soul that has departed grows more restless, unable to make spiritual progress as long as its urgent message goes uncommunicated. This spiritual agitation can lead to strange happenings in the lives of those still living, including mysterious noises, electrical anomalies, or a sensation of being observed. More critically, Cayce found that neglecting spiritual advice from departed loved ones can hinder one's own spiritual growth. In reading 262-20, he elaborated that dismissing communication from the spirit realm results in what he termed soul resistance, an impairment of one's intuitive skills that complicates receiving guidance from any spiritual source. The sleeping prophet recorded instances where individuals who consistently disregarded dream visits from deceased relatives subsequently encountered significant life obstacles that might have been averted if they had paid attention to the spiritual signals they received. However, there is another dimension to the 3-time dream visitations that Cayce uncovered, highlighting a deeper significance behind these mystical experiences. As outlined in reading 281-12, the deceased relatives who appear in dreams 3 times are not merely sending messages. They also act as spiritual guides, assisting their living family members in enhancing their psychic capabilities and strengthening their bond with the spiritual realm. Each visit boosts what Cayce referred to as your soul sensitivity, gradually expanding your awareness of higher spiritual levels. This indicates that appropriately responding to dream appearances from departed relatives not only aids them, but also fosters your own spiritual growth. Cayce emphasized that these interactions present opportunities for shared spiritual development, benefiting both the living and the departed through this sacred communication that transcends dimensional boundaries. Reading 37442 reveals Cayce's deep understanding of why certain individuals experience these supernatural dream encounters, while others do not. The sleeping prophet notes that 3-time visitations tend to happen more often with those who are spiritually prepared to act as conduits between the physical and spiritual realms. If you are having these dreams, Cayce would suggest that it reflects your soul's growth in spiritual sensitivity, allowing for direct interactions with souls that have departed. This phenomenon should not be feared. Rather, it signifies your spiritual progress and your readiness to fulfill a greater purpose. The Edgar Cayce Foundation in Virginia Beach keeps comprehensive records demonstrating that people who appropriately respond to dream visitations from their deceased loved ones often go on to cultivate impressive psychic skills themselves. Many individuals pursue roles as mediums, healers, or spiritual advisors, leveraging their heightened sensitivity to assist others in connecting with the spirit realm. However, Cayce highlighted a vital point regarding these supernatural abilities. In his readings 5-5-5-6-6, the prophet warned that psychic gifts obtained through spirit communication should be utilized for the benefit of others rather than personal advantage. Those who seek to profit from their spirit world connections or exploit their abilities to manipulate individuals tend to diminish their spiritual sensitivity and may attract adverse spiritual energies. Hence, Cayce consistently stressed the importance of approaching dream visitations from deceased loved ones with respect, humility, and a genuine intention to serve both the departed and the greater good. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration into Edgar Cayce's insights on supernatural communication through dreams, I would like to address a concern that may be on the minds of some viewers. What if you have had 3 dream encounters with a loved one who has passed away, but were unsure how to react appropriately? Is it too late to assist their spirit in finding peace and to grasp the significant message they tried to convey? According to reading 136:28, it's never too late to recognize and respond to spiritual communication from those who have died. Cayce emphasized that souls in the spiritual realm are not bound by the concept of linear time as we perceive it. This means your deceased loved ones can still receive your acknowledgement and response, even if it has been months or years since their visits in your dreams. The sleeping prophet proposed a specific method for reconnecting with loved ones who have passed away, particularly if you may have overlooked their earlier messages in dreams. This process entails entering a state of deep meditation, sincerely expressing regret for not acknowledging their previous attempts to communicate, and allowing yourself to be fully open to receiving their current message. Numerous individuals who adhered to this advice reported that their departed family members appeared in dreams shortly thereafter, often seeming more at ease and conveying their messages with greater clarity than during earlier encounters. This highlights a beautiful aspect of love and spiritual connections that goes beyond the boundaries of death. Throughout his 14,000 documented readings, Edgar Cayce consistently underscored the idea that death does not sever relationships. Instead, it transforms them. The connections of love linking us to our family endure even after their physical passing, emerging as persistent spiritual interactions and mutual assistance across realms. When loved ones who have passed show up in our dreams on 3 occasions, they are not haunting us or seeking to instill fear. Instead, they are expressing their enduring love, protection, and guidance from the spirit realm. Acknowledging these encounters appropriately honors this everlasting affection and facilitates the spiritual growth of both parties. Referencing 281:16 reveals one of Cayce's most reassuring perspectives on dream interactions with those we have lost. He shared that every soul that has ever cared for us continues to oversee our lives from the spirit realm, sometimes stepping in when we are in dire need of their guidance. This indicates that you are never truly alone, even in your most challenging times. The affection of those who have transitioned remains vibrant and accessible, reaching beyond the boundary of death to provide solace, advice, and protection when it is most needed. As you move forward after watching this video, keep in mind that Edgar Cayce's insights regarding dream encounters with departed loved ones are not merely intriguing metaphysical ideas. They are valuable spiritual tools that can change your life and assist souls in finding peace. If you've had 3 dream encounters with a lost loved one, now you are aware of exactly what steps to take. Acknowledge their messages, then enter a meditative state to clearly receive their guidance and respond appropriately in the physical realm. If you haven't yet encountered these extraordinary dreams, stay receptive to the possibility. Cayce suggests that as more individuals undergo spiritual awakening in these transformative times, interactions between the living and the deceased will become more frequent. The sleeping prophet posited that grasping and effectively responding to spirit communications would be vital skills for spiritual development in the forthcoming era. By acquiring these principles now, you are preparing yourself to act as a conduit between realms, assisting both departed spirits and living individuals in navigating the complexities of life, death, and their eternal spiritual connections. Keep in mind that every spirit that has impacted your life with love continues to be invested in your spiritual path. When they extend their presence across dimensions to support you in dreams, they provide you with one of the most invaluable treasures, enduring love and guidance from beyond death's barrier. Show appreciation for their gift by staying spiritually attuned, recognizing their messages, and following their affectionate advice.